Alright, hopefully it works this time. I just recorded like a good amount of the tier list, but none of the audio was working. So, I'm just gonna run back through everything I just did and my reasoning behind it. Basically, my opinion doesn't have to agree with everyone else's. I'm gonna base these off of either the utility or how good they are in fights, based on what kind of weapon it is. Alright, airstrike, I said C tier, because it only has like a couple uses that make it actually good, and that would be base jumper, gunboats. Other times, because of the less damage and the smaller blast radius, you're not going to want to use it. Wee booties, D tier. Yes, it's good with Demo Knight, but if you're trying to use it in a regular loadout, 25 more health isn't as good as having a grenade launcher. Ambassador. Really good if you know how to use it, but also kind of slower firing speed if you're trying to go for headshots. I'd say it's still good though, so I can't imagine putting it lower than B. I'll put it at the top of B for now. Amputator, only really good in medieval mode because the Ubersaw is kind of unrivaled. It's the only weapon you'll ever see medics use. So, C. Alpaca Fists. Really cool skin, I think. But, honestly, it's just the fists. So, since weapons like the killing gloves of boxing exist, I'd say E tier. Now, let me just make sure that the audio from my stream is not looping over, because I don't want this to mess up again. So let's go to that. It's kind of weird navigating the streams anyway. That's not it. Oh, there it is. Oh, hey Isaiah. Welcome. Alright. I muted the stream, but I'm also watching it on my other display, just in case. And let's keep going. Alright. Atomizer. The thing about the Atomizer is, it used to be insanely good, but now that it kind of works like a market gardener, it's not that good anymore. It does have its uses though. Like, you could still do the triple jump if you pull it out like really quickly, but it's not as fast as doing it normally with the old Atomizer. So I'm gonna put this in D, because you're not really gonna be running around melee only with the Atomizer as scout. I'm not actually at my mom's house right now, Isaiah, so I can't get DJ on right now. You can try and talk to him, but I can't contact him. Alright, Upper Hand. Basically just a sniper rifle. Sounds a bit cooler. Now, regarding the sniper rifle, being able to headshot and insta-kill most of the classes, that's wild. I'd say, well, it's definitely not as bad as, well, it's not in the same tier as the Ambassador for sure. So I'd say A. Alright, now this is where it kind of gets tough, because the Extinguisher is really good, but now that they added it, so the amount of afterburn that's left is how much damage you get. It's a little weird, but it still does a really good amount of damage. I wouldn't say that it's lower than B. You know, B sounds good for it. Yeah, B. Alright, Babyface's Blaster. I know a lot of people don't like this gun, but every time I've used it so far, I've done really good with it. So, I mean, It's definitely not D tier. I'll say that. It's at least C. Yeah, I think C sounds good. Because it's good, but you kind of have to, like, know how to use it. And the accuracy, some people say the accuracy is bad, but I think if you land your shots, it can 3-shot heavies, 1-shot most classes if they've lost a little bit of health. Yeah, it's a wild weapon. However, the backscatter, I tried to force myself to like the backscatter because I used to have a strange professional kill streak one, but honestly, not that good. It's really fun to mess around with, but as a weapon, it could be better. I'd say D. Back scratcher, my favorite pyro melee. If you don't have a medic, it's like the best melee to run for pyro. 234 damage on the crit. You can basically 2-shot heavies with that. You can 2-shot most classes, even if they're at full health. So I'd say I really don't want to do this, but I feel like I kind of have to. I'm going to say A tier. Wait, Isaiah, why is your name Metal Sonic? Also, the stream's kind of late, so just so you know, I did see your message, but it might have taken a while for you to hear it. Alright, Back Scratcher. Insanely good for man vs. machine. Shreds most enemies, and the hitboxes are all messed up because, like, the square, like, same thing with backstabbing. You can hit someone on the side and they'll still crit. I'd say, yeah, it's gotta be S. S tier. First one. The crits are ridiculous, and even though it costs more to do air blasts, you can still do it, unlike the Flog. Base jumper. Now that it's got the reduced mobility and stuff, it's kind of hard to do the old market gardening cheese. F. The only thing you can really pair it with is the airstrike, if that. So, right. Stock bat. This is one of those weapons in the game that you just never want to use. If you ever use this weapon, jeez, I can't speak. If you're using this weapon, you either don't have any other melees, or you're just memeing. There's no other reason to use the stock bat. There's just so many better options. E. Well, you know, I might go with F. There's just so many better options for Scout that are just so bad. Battalion's backup. My least favorite backpack item for the soldier. I mean, the resistance is good if you don't want to get destroyed by crits, but the other backpacks are just so much better. That one's gotta be D for me. Bizarre bargain. Basically a sniper rifle that rewards you for doing good. And there's hardly a downside, because if you get 2 headshots, the downside's already gone. Since this normal sniper rifle... Whoa, what did I just say? Since the sniper rifle is at A, I'd say this has to be S. I'm not really trying to order the letters right now because that would take a really long time, so it's basically just where they are on the column. Beggar's Bazooka. Another pretty bad rocket launcher. I know it has, like, while it does shoot 3 rockets really fast, they're all super inaccurate, and you're only really going to demolish people if you're at point blank. However, it is really good when you combine it with a backpack. So, I'll say C. Same as the airstrike. Now we're moving on to a spy weapon. Second one of the list so far. Big Earner. The speed boost is really good for getting chain backstabs, but when you have only 100 health, you can get one shot by things like rockets, grenades, sticky bombs even. That's a pretty heavy downside, but it's also really good if you're good with it. So I'll say B. It's not terrible, but black box. Oh no. The black box is like one of my most feared weapons. Yeah, Isaiah, you should get DJ on here. He would like this tier list. I don't really know how you could get whoa, okay. I don't really know how you could contact him though. I mean, he doesn't have his phone on him when he's at his mom's. But if you have him added on like Xbox or something, try that. Alright, black box. Ooh. The health is super duper annoying to deal with. It does have one less rocket though. But that's not really that much of a downside when you're just basically infinite with health. I'll give it an A. Bloodsucker. Health is good. You can shred heavies if you hit all of your shots. But it's also going up against things like the Crusader's crossbow. Isaiah, I can't comment on his video right now because I'm streaming, but if you want to do that, I can try and see what I can do to get him on here, but no promises. Alright, back to the Bloodsucker. The health is like insane. The regeneration downside doesn't really matter at all, because your regeneration scales based on how many seconds you've been going without taking damage. But nobody really plays Battle Medic, so ooh, this is a tough one. I can see it at the top of C. Top of C, yeah. Stock bone saw. I forgot the name for a second because I've never seen myself use this thing. That's gotta be an E. I mean, it gets crazy crits, but that's just like a luck-based thing, so it can't change the rank because of that. Yeah, not much else to say about that thing. Blanc Atomic Punch. Another weapon that used to be insanely good, but got nerfed. I mean, still has its uses. You can get past the sentry, and then the slowdown doesn't really matter unless people follow you. But you're also very prone to getting body blocked. That one's gotta be a D. Because being invincible and not being able to shoot is whatever. It's like only got a couple uses. Boston Basher. Oh my gosh, is this thing good. Can build Uber with it. Does a bunch of damage if all the bleed damage goes on. And like, the downside doesn't really matter because you're using it to your team's advantage. Very good in competitive play. But I'm not really basing this off of competitive because I've only played like, what, one match? A tier for sure. I don't think a scout melee can go in S tier though. So stock bottle, crazy crits once again. I've gotten, well, I used to have a strange bottle actually that had non-crit nor mini-crit kills on it, and I looked at it a couple of times, like after I got maybe 200 kills on it, and it had 60 or 70% crit kills. So, but then again, I can't really base it off of crits like I said with the bone saw, so that one's gonna have to go in E. Alright, Brass Beast. Really good if you're camping by a dispenser and good for MVM, but I don't think it's as good as the stock minigun. The rev time is also kind of problematic, that's for sure. So I think this is another good C tier. Buff Banner, crazy good, S tier. I might think about that later, but as of right now, definite S tier. Giving mini crits to everyone on your team. Not only does your rocket launcher do 140 damage, which can one-shot most of the 9 classes, but it also it just dominates. If you combine it with like the black box, you're also getting health. So almost no contest S tier. Buffalo steak sandwich. Not as good as the normal sandwich, but if you combine it with like the KGB, it can be really good. Another weapon that's good with combinations. But normally I'd say D tier. Bushwhacker. I hate this weapon so much. It's so powerful and it's really annoying to fight. B. B sounds like a good spot for this one. If you have Girardi, basically you just throw it at someone and chase them, but make sure you don't chase them too long because you're just going to get shot in the face. Candy cane. I used to only run this weapon for Scout until I realized how bad it is to have explosive vulnerability. You can get one shot by rockets and almost, well, rockets, grenade launcher, whatever, all explosives. They're really bad. But if you're good at dodging, the weapon can be nice. I'll give it an E. The health packs are also good against pyros because it stops the flame. Charge and Targe. My favorite shield right now. The resistances are just so much better than I think the shield damage. I use it a lot more because in my montage video you can see that it takes like 7 seconds to die to a pyro. I'll put it at B. That's also subject to change though, because having a shield that high up there, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Claymore, or Claymore, I don't really know how to pronounce that one. The increased shield duration is really good for trimping. It's also good for chasing down people that aren't expecting it. But I hardly see this weapon used anymore, and it's not really as good as a weapon like the Islander. So I'd say not quite C, but also not quite D. I'll put it in front of the wee booties. I know I said I'm not really ordering this, but I guess now I am accidentally. Classic. You're really only meaning if you're using this weapon, honestly. It takes forever to charge up, and you can't headshot unless you charge it up, so E. Clear's Carbine. Another weapon I tried to force myself to like. It's a lot of fun to play with, and it's super powerful with the Bushwhacker, but the damage output is really bad. That one's gotta be a D too. Cloak and Dagger. Really good for messing around with people in the intel room. I've done a couple really weird matches by just staying in the intel room the whole time, shooting people and then recloaking. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's as good as the Invis Watch though. This one is pretty comfortable. C. Conjurer. Another really good backpack. I have run this all the time with Cow Mangler and stock, just because the health bonus is so good when you don't have any health packs. I'll give this one at least A. Well, actually top of V. Kunai. Unless you run this thing with the Dead Ringer, you have to be like, you have to not take any damage, or else you're just kind of doomed. But once you get that first backstab, you're pretty safe. What else did I rank before this? The Big Earner. Is it better than the Big Earner? I don't think so. I mean, the health is nice, of course, and if you run it with a Dead Ringer, you can get a couple chances at killing people, but I don't know, if you die a lot when you use this weapon. I'll put it C. Cow Mangler. Amazing rocket launcher, infinite ammo. The only downside really is that it doesn't get crits, and now it gets many crits instead, which is a nice change. I'd say at least A. Cozy Camper. Pretty freaking bad. The regeneration hardly matters. E. Criticola. Another weapon that used to be insanely broken before they nerfed it. If you know what you're doing, once again, really good weapon. But being marked for death for 5 seconds every time you shoot, it's kind of hard to deal with. Sounds like a C weapon to me. Crusader's Crossbow, insane, S tier. It's like you can't even argue that one. It's the only it's the only primary weapon that any medic uses. And not only can it heal good from long distances, but it can kill good too. Dalagos bar? I don't remember how to pronounce this one. It's alright. The health bonus doesn't really help at all unless you're doing heavy fights. I'd say E. Maybe top of E. Yeah. Darwin's Ninja Shield? If you really hate pyros, this weapon is amazing. It takes a really long time to die to pyros, and if you don't like flinching a lot when you get hit by them, also very good. I don't think it's deserving of an A tier though. I'd say it's like pretty similar to the Charge and Targe, but not quite as good. C. C for sure. Top of C. Dead Ringer. Most people say this weapon's a crutch. That's because it's really good. Being able to fake your death, even though people don't really believe it that much, pretty powerful. And the speed boost lets you get away. So, I'd go with A for that one. Degreaser. Now I know Combo Pyro, Puff and Sting, whatever you want to call it, is really good, but I don't know that by itself it's really good at all. Because like the afterburn's only 1 per second. I don't know if that affects the damage of the extinguisher or not, because you know it's based off of how much afterburn's left, but this one's a good C. There's a lot of C tiers here, but I don't know, just C is my go-to if it's really difficult. Detonator, I personally like it better than the Scorch Shot because it's not toxic. You're gonna see a lot of passive aggression to some of these weapons, but you know, jumping with it, nice. The explosion can get multiple people and many crits on burning players. I'd say bottom of B. Cause I don't think it's quite as bad as some of these C tier weapons, but it's also not as good as the ones they have up there. Diamondback. Rewards you for playing Spy. Top of B. The damage reduction is why I put it below A. Because, like, it does the same damage as a close range ambassador, but you have to get backstabbed and stuff first. Basically, when you don't have crits, you're kind of doomed. Direct hit. Really good if you're experienced with it. One shots most classes, can two shot most of the classes, except for heavy. And the air shot bonus. This one's got to be an A too, right next to the black box. Whip. Insane range. Really good melee, gets a bunch of crits. But I don't think the whip ability is really that good anymore, because it's only for like 1 second or something like that. So I'd say C. We've got a ton of weapons to go still. I don't know, Isaiah. It's based on... Wait, Sunday? I thought it was on Saturday. Here, once you hear this, let me know in the chat. Right, Dragon's Fury. This weapon is also wild. Being able to light pyros on fire and to crit them, crazy ability. I'd say bottom of A. The increased firing speed basically guarantees that you're gonna get more than 2 hits on someone. Yeah, Saturday, that's what I thought. It's really based on if I'm working or not, so I'm not really sure yet. Alright, the Enforcer. The upside kinda doesn't make sense and doesn't work. And it's also a really slow revolver. So D. Maybe even E. You know what? Yeah, E. Top of E. Equalizer. Favorite soldier melee. I know people are gonna get mad at me for this, but top of B for sure. I get so many unbelievable kills with this, and it's just so much fun to use. I might even move it up to A. Yeah, I'll move it up to A. Bottom of A though, so it's not like too crazy. I don't get too much flame for it. Alright. I feel like we're maybe halfway through, so I'm gonna take a quick break and then I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. It was a little weird for a second because I'm looking at my stream on the other side and I thought the mouse on that screen was the one I'm using right now, so it took me a second to realize I couldn't click on my microphone. Alright, escape plan. Really good for escaping, as the name suggests, but you really don't want to come at someone with this weapon. I'd give it a B. Because it really keeps those kill streaks going. And the mini crits don't matter if they can't hit you, so. Eureka effect. 25 metal teleporters is really good. And teleporting back to your teleporters and spawn without enemies noticing, because I don't think you had the teleporter dust on you when you teleport with that. Really good. But I'm pretty sure you get less metal when you use it or something crazy like that. That's at least a B. I'll put it like in the middle. Right. Eviction notice, pretty bad. Unless you're doing like the Joe Terrell loadout or whatever. You never really want to use this thing. I mean, the speed is okay, but you're never really going to get that close to an enemy and not attack them with your minigun. So I'd say D. Islander. Islander is also really crazy as a melee weapon, but I don't know if it's worthy of an S. Running as fast as a scout and having 210 health, maybe even 235 if you're using the Wii booties. It's really good, but I'll say top of A for now. I might move it later. Alright. Family business. You're actually just playing Fat Scout if you're using this weapon. It's pretty good when you use it. It's really consistent. That might have to join the C gang. I don't think it's above the babyface though. I'll put it above the beggars. Fan of War. Really good melee. Mainly for MVM though. You're not gonna get up to, like I said with the heavy, you're not gonna go up to someone as scout and hit them with a 5 damage melee weapon just so you can switch to another weapon and shoot them. Because that just takes too much time. You're probably gonna be dead by that point. So I'd say D. Not bottom of D, like middle. Better than battalions, yeah. Stock fire axe, terrible. Another weapon that you just should not use unless you're completely new to the game. I might even put that as F. Yeah, F. It's along with the scout, stock bat, and the base jumper. Fist of Steel, probably Heavy's best melee weapon. It allows you to get to the front lines without really having to worry about headshots and stuff like that. Nobody's gonna run up to you and melee you unless they know what you're doing. So I say it's higher B. Not quite as good as the conch. Timeout. No. Isaiah, there's no way you got arrested. For what? I can't wait to hear this one. Tell me. Alright, Fist. Also terrible. I'll put it right next to the Apocalypse because it's just a reskin. Stock Flamethrower, S tier. Crazy, amazing, if you know how to use it. Reflecting projectiles is such an overpowered ability, and you get to reflect will extinguish your teammates. It's unrivaled. Flare gun. It's either bottom of A or top of B. No, I'd say it's gotta be an A. Flare punching, whatever they call it, is also a crazy ability. Oh, that's not getting arrested. That's just being a nerd. Alright. Flare gun. I think it's pretty reasonable to put it A. Flying guillotine. Never really seen that much after that, after they kind of ruined it with the No More Sandman combo. Damage is good. Can finish off enemies from a distance. Takes a lot of skill to use, kinda. I'd say bottom of B. Well, actually, is it better than the kunai? Yeah. Force of nature. Insane. I go crazy with this weapon. I don't know why, but the knockback is good. The damage is good. And the reload speed is good. I definitely think it's better than the soda popper, but I don't know if it's better than the scattergun. So I'll do... It's got to be higher than the Diamondback for sure. Yeah, alright. Frontier Justice. I don't know why people use this weapon more than the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker is just like... I'm going to talk about that later. You believe me, I'm going to talk about that later. Frontier Justice, though. The crits are good. Especially with the mini sentry, but... I don't know. I don't really care for it. Bottom of B. Frying Pan. Just a reskin. It's a nice reskin, though. It's a lot of fun to play around with. Crazy amount of crits. Still don't really understand why. I'll put it at the bottom of D. It's probably the highest hurdle for a reskin. Gas Passer. I've been messing around with this weapon a lot, but I don't think being able to ignite pyros and just set enemies on fire with any shot really matters that much. I mean, you're going to be burning people anyway, and having other people on your team burn people, it's whatever. I'll say mid C. Gloves running urgently. Kind of bad. Kind of bad right now. The nerf they gave it kind of ruined the entire weapon. I'll say above the atomizer in D. Golden Frying Pan. You know, it's just the frying pan, so I'll put it in D. However, there is a kind of weird... It's kind of a weird, frame-related thing with Spy, with all the all-class weapons that Spy can use. It seems like it hits earlier than the normal melee weapons. I could be wrong about this, but whenever I use the weapon, the attack for the weapon comes out before the Spy does the swing animation. I don't know how much that really matters, but you know, I'll put it bottom of C, just in case that's like, well, C seems too generous. I'll put it like above the Cleaner's Carbine. Yeah. Grenade launcher. Well, if you're Pipe Jesus, this thing is easily an A tier. Kind of hard to aim when you start, but the roller grenades still do damage to anyone like down a hill. I'd say high B tier. Above the Diamondback for sure. But wait. I can't say the Equalizer is better than the grenade launcher. I'll put it above the Equalizer. And the flare gun. Alright. Gunboats, amazing for mobility. Like, these things are so good if you want to just jump around the map without taking that much damage. You know, I'll do... Is it better than the Charge and Targe? I don't think so. I'll put it right below the charge and charge. No, Isaiah, the golden frying pan is not an A because it's a golden frying pan. It's also D tier because it costs $2,000. I'm not spending that much money on a melee weapon in Team Fortress 2. Gunslinger. I love this weapon so much. The health is good, mini sentries are good and annoying, and combined with the Widowmaker, you become a destructive machine. I'd say it's gotta be A tier. Is it above? Between the Boston Basher and the Deadringer seems good. Half Zatoichi? I don't know. I've been using it a lot, but with no random critical hits and, well, that's basically it. Soldier and demo duels are fun though, and the health is really good when you get a kill. You can help get chain kills. I'd say bottom of C. Hitman's Heatmaker, my favorite sniper rifle. Really good for MVM. I'd say it's great for playing casual too, because being able to double headshot a heavy without having to scope out, pretty powerful. But is it better than stock? Well, the reduced damage for hit markers. Not hit markers when I'm playing Black Ops 2. The hit mark, I just said it again. The body shots do less damage, but you're not really gonna body shot spam someone. So I'd say it's one above. Golden frying pan is not worth $2,000 of real money. You know what you can buy for that? A whole new computer. A car. Well, maybe a car. I got mine for 2K. Let's see. No. Yeah, 100 Steam cards. You could buy 100 Steam cards with that much money. Hamshank? I like it better than the pan. So, I'll put it one above the pan, because in the end it's still a reskin. How do you like that one, Isaiah? I put a piece of ham over the golden frying pan. Well, actually, no, not over the golden frying pan, but the regular one. Holiday Punch, very powerful. Really good heavy melee. Not really going to use it in a scenario like King of the Hill or something like that. I'd say it's better than the... it's better than the Family Business, that's for sure. Homewrecker. Pybro, basically. One-shot sappers. Destroys buildings on the enemy team if you can get close to them. But you're not really going to get close to a level 3 sentry at any time, unless you're getting Ubered. I'd say around this range of C, high C. Alright, I'm actually going to take a second to notify someone that I'm streaming because they were trying to tell me to get on. Uno momento. Alright, and we're back. Alright, where did I leave off? You don't want a car, you want a gold frying pan? Well, you know, that's your decision, and if you want a virtual item instead of a form of transportation, that's on you. Hot hand. Literally just slapping people. Pretty bad as a melee weapon. I'd say top of E. What is going on right here? 1 second. Huntsman. Also known as the Luxman. Not better than the sniper rifle, that's for sure. Also devastating at close range. I got headshot so many times in my last match because this guy was using the Huntsman over and over and over. I'd say bottom of A. Long heater, long heater, whatever you want to call it. Not very good. Another weapon I tried to force myself to like, but it's just terrible. Top of D. Inviswatch? I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the cloak and dagger. It can be better because picking up ammo packs can really increase the longevity of it, but being able to stay in one spot and just watch over an enemy intel is also a really good ability. But this is good for running away. I'll put it better than... It's definitely better than the gas passer. And the amputator. Airstrike. Oh my gosh, you're going crazy about this golden frying pan thing, Isaiah. Oh yeah, in case you guys don't know, Isaiah is my cousin. You can check him out on YouTube. He's got his own channel and everything. His name is Explosive Professor, spelled how it normally is. I think his profile picture's a PS4 controller. And there's that shout out you were looking for, Isaiah. Just in case. He's got some pretty good content out there right now, especially for his age. Wait, where did I just put that gun? I mean, Inviswatch. Okay. That seems reasonable. Iron Bomber. A lot of people say this thing's better than the grenade launcher. I don't have much experience with it, but being able to grenade jump so easily, and it also feels really consistent. I'll put it right next to the black box. Alright. Jag. Probably the best wrench besides the gunslinger. It's definitely better than the Eureka effect. 3 sapper hits though. Kinda bad. But I still think that makes it good. I'll put it... It's not as good as the Dragon's Fury or the grenade launcher. I'd say right above the flare gun. Oh, grenade launcher. Stay back. There we go. Alright. Girardi. Really good secondary for sniper. I'd say most people use this. It's like not buff banner good because buff banner is guaranteed mini crits, but it's got to be at least in B. I'd say higher than the diamond. No. I'd say it's like in the same range as the Contra. No. Contra is really good. But it's got to be better than the Bushwhacker because the Bushwhacker is its right-hand man. I'll do... Let's do... If you don't put the gold frying pan at A, I will nuke Antarctica. First of all, where are the resources to build a nuclear bomb? Second of all, golden frying pan is not going at A. I don't care if you delete South Africa. I'm not putting golden frying pan at A. Right below the ambassador. That seems nice. Killing goes a boxing. These things are devastating if you get one kill with them. They've got a lot of uses. Like if you kill someone with it and then switch to your minigun, you've got crits for a little while. Or you can just chain crits. I'd say... Yeah, top of C. Top of C sounds nice. It's not as good as the Fist of Steel, but it's still a really good melee weapon. I'm actually going to make this full screen, just to see how much better it looks. Because I see that it has, like, my toolbars on top and whatever. Alright. Stock knife. Really good for a stock weapon. I know that for sure. I'll go with mid-C. Because, like, there's better options. But stock knife is nice if you don't have, like... If you don't have weapons, then the stock knife isn't bad. But it's also not as good as the ones you could be using. Kritzkrieg, A tier, for sure. But where in A tier? I say it's better than the sniper rifle because it's like the king of pub stomping. Combined with soldier, you can destroy an entire cap point. You can destroy an entire spawn point if you're being a loser in spawn camping. It's just got so many uses. But the only problem is it can't make you invincible, which is why I'm putting it in A instead of S. Kukri F. Well, actually, I'm not gonna do this right away for the Kukri. Because this thing, I'm gonna go with the crits argument again. I'll just put it next to the other ones, below Bombsaw. L'Étranger. The cloak time is good when you combine it with the Dead Ringer or basically any watch, but the reduced damage is pretty lacking. This is the no, I put the Ambassador on there earlier and the Enforcer, so that's how could I compare it? The Enforcer, it's better than the Enforcer, for sure. I'd say top of D. Better than the Hulong. Liberty Launcher. Kinda sucks. If you combine it with the gunboats, you only take 7 damage from rocket jumps, but having an extra rocket doesn't really matter when you're only doing like 70 or 60 damage a rocket. I'll put it 1 below the airstrike. Well, actually, no, I think it's... Is it better than the airstrike? It's got normal blast range, and I guess it increases your rocket jump height too. I'll put it right there. What guitar are you talking about? I don't see a guitar in here. And there is no De La Cruz guitar in Team Fortress. Alright. Lock and load. I used to use this thing all the time. The projectile speed really affects how good you are at aiming with it. But is it better than the stock? Well, the blast radius is crazy, too. I just realized. I'd say it's not quite as good as the Boston Basher. It's like right in between the stock and the Iron Bomber. I'll put it at A. Lollipop. Where did I put the Fire Axe? F. What are you talking about, Isaiah? I don't see a single guitar on this entire screen. Loose cannon. Also a wild weapon. I love this gun so much. It's kind of a meme. Really good knockback. I'll put it a little above the Force of Nature. It's not better than the Huntsman though, I would say. Machina, Body Shot Lord, 518 damage on a headshot, and bullet penetration. Oh, I don't think it should be in the same tier as the stock though. It's at least in high B. Mad Milk, really good scout secondary, really defensive, helps your team out a lot. I'd say it's right next to the Conjurer. The only difference is the Conjurer is better because it gives you the speed boost too. It's like the same situation with the Girardi and the Buff Banner. Man Melter kind of sucks. I mean, getting crits for extinguishing people is okay, but like, any infinite ammo is alright, but I don't know, the projectiles kind of suck. It's not nearly as good as the flare gun. Yeah, this seems like a good spot. D tier. Mantreads? Insane. Really good for mobility. Like, if you're using the rocket jumper, you want to use this thing. But is it better than the gunboats? Well, the reduced blast damage is so good on the gunboats. I'd say it's like right here. B tier for sure. Market Gardener, low B. Getting crits is crazy, but like you're only really gonna use it if, or go for it if there's like a sniper or maybe a medic pick that you can get. You're not really gonna be using it all that much when you've got the rocket launcher. Medigun, S tier. Uber Chargers is so good. You can take down sentry nests, you can take down an entire team if you got a good person. Okay, Isaiah, are you gonna keep talking about the golden frying pan for the rest of the stream? I'm not moving it. That one is set in stone. It's a reskin, and it's the only reason it's slightly better than the other reskins is because it's got the weird frame stuff with the spy. I don't even know if that makes it better or not. Minigun. Is the minigun the best minigun, though? That's the question. I think it is. But where would the minigun lie? I don't think it's as good as the stock sniper rifle. But it also shreds. It destroys when you're at mid to close range. So I'd say it's not better than the comm angler. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I'd say it's about as good as the gunslinger. Minigun. Hey, remember when I said I wasn't gonna order each tier? Well, I've kinda accidentally been doing that now. Natasha. Annoying. Bad. Stupid. Bottom of C. Scouts hate you when you use it, that's for sure. Neon Annihilator. Pyro Sharking can destroy most of the classes with one hit. But you have to also get up to them fast enough where you can deal damage. Sorry, I'm kind of thinking about this one. Neon Annihilator. It's definitely better than the stock melee weapons. I didn't even think about that earlier. But is it better than... It does the same thing as the Homewrecker, but it takes 2 hits instead of 1. I'd say it's like... It's better than the Airstrike for sure. Original. I'm definitely going to put the stock rocket launcher in an S tier. But the original, I feel like you can't shoot around corners. That's one thing. And gosh, I just don't really like how it aims. Sure, it goes directly down the middle, so it's like easier to line up air shots and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'll put it at the top of A. Overdose. Bad. Really bad. I mean, the 20% speed boost is good for running away, but you have to be at full Uber for that to work out. It's better than the gloves, though. I'll put it right above the group. Pain Train. Ooh. Bullet damage vulnerability is awful. But the capture rate can make it look like you're playing as a scout. And that's really throwing off to some people. So, dang. I'll put this one at... It's not as good as the Phantom Warrior. I'll put it D tier. Panic Attack. This thing kind of sucks. Yes, it does a bunch of damage at point blank, but I don't really understand how the fixed, like, bullet spread works or whatever. Seems like it's going to be a D tier. I think it's worse than the Huolong Heater for sure. Claydon Moore, yeah. Not as bad as the Man Melter though, so like somewhere around here. Better than the boots. Persian Persuader. I've run this thing so many times and it just is so good. Destroys. Top of C. Because if you're gonna use it, you kind of have to dedicate to it. Phlogistonator. No Air Blast is kind of detrimental when you're trying to compare it to the other flamethrowers, but this thing shreds entire teams if you spawn camp or if you just like walk towards people. It's the definition of WM1. Oh, hello. 2 people just came. Wow. Nice. Well, welcome to the stream. I'm just sorting weapons through tiers. Phlogistonator. Gosh, I don't know for this one. I don't think it's better than the flamethrower, so it can't be S. But it's better than the flare gun. It's better than the Jag, but I don't think it's better than the rocket launcher. Who are you? He's just he could either be a fan or he's just new to my channel. Oh, Max. Hello. I didn't expect you to show up. Thank you. Pistol. Hit scan is annoying, but it's also really good for finishing enemies off. Is it better than the Diamondback? I'd say it's right here. Force Nature, I don't think is beaten by the pistol. Thompson, I hate this weapon. It's just like not good. A projectile shotgun? Oh no! Hold on. Let me pull up my Google Translate for those of you that don't know that language. I got you guys. Google Translate isn't really saying anything that makes sense, so it looks like Spanish. I am only up to Spanish 2, so I can't really help you out with that one. But yeah. Isaiah, if you say anything about the golden frying pan being at A again, there's gonna be issues. Alright. Thompson. I don't even think it's better than the stock melee weapons. I gotta put that at the top of E. Alright. Power Jack used to be really good, but now it kinda sucks. But I don't think it's worthy of D. I'd say worse than the Cloak and Dagger. Speed boost is good, but I don't know. Pretty Boy's pocket pistol. The faster firing speed is really good for taking people out. I've died to it multiple times when I was at full health. Health boost doesn't really matter, so it's not as good as the pistol, I would say. But okay, now you're stretching the wire. Golden frying pan at S? Heck no. Alright, pocket pistol. Ooh, gosh. I'll put it right above the guillotine. Well, there you go, Max. You've got some extra use for your Spanish. Alright, Isaiah, I'll compromise with you. I'll put the pretty machete over the golden frying pan. Actually, no, I can't do that. That's cruel. The golden frying pan is better than the pretty machete, but they do have the same situation where it's an all-class weapon that Spy can use, and the hit comes out a little earlier than the animation. Quick fix. Ooh. I mean, it's kinda good. Not a C tier, that's for sure. But where would it be in B tier? It's better than that. Detonator? I'd say it's like in the same range as the gunboats. Quickie bomb launcher? Where's... Oh, okay, most of the stock weapons are still here. Alright. Quickie bomb launcher? I'd say it's not as good as the sticky bomb launcher, but it's also, like, not bad. I'd say it's better than the Fist of Steel, for sure, and all the weapons below it. Now I have to think about where I'm going to put the sticky bomb launcher, because the sticky bomb launcher is crazy. There's so many uses for it. You can sticky spam, you can use it for sticky traps. It's amazing in MVM. I don't know why I keep bringing that up, because this is for casual and stuff. But it's just so good. Like, consistent damage with 8 per clip, and being able to trap, that's really good. Rainblower. Pyrovision kind of lags the game a little bit. I don't know if it's just my computer or what, but I'll put it top of A. Razorback. Blocking one backstab is really bad, especially when people can just shoot you. Isaiah, Russell from Up is not from Team Fortress 2. I don't know who you're talking to or what game you're playing right now, but no. I'll put Razorback is really bad, honestly. I'll put it right next to the Cozy Camper. Red Tape Recorder, incredibly annoying. I don't think it's better than the Killing Gloves of Boxing. I honestly might move that up. That sounds like it would. It's definitely a C, but where? That's it, like right there. The Airstrike seems like to be the base for most of my agreements. Rescue Ranger. A lot of people use this thing, but now that it costs metal to heal your sentry, I don't use it like at all. Because we still haven't talked about the Widowmaker yet. I'd say high B. Better than the guns, I mean, whatever that's called, the Diamondback. Reserve Shooter, sucks. Just use the stock shotgun. I don't even know how you get mini crits with this thing anymore, so I'd say, like, it's not even as good as the Panic Attack. But it's better than the Man Melter, even though I don't really know how it works. Stock Revolver, I like it better than the Diamondback. Does as much damage as a melee weapon at mid-range. I'd say bottom of A. Bison, this is like born to be a D tier. I mean, the projectiles penetrating again is okay, but it's still not really that good. It's below the Reserve Shooter and maybe even below the Man Melter, yeah. Rocket Jumper, you're only really using this if you're memeing. I can't put this over B, there's no way. I'd say like high B though. Mobility makes it crazy. It's better than the Kunai, but is it? Let's just put it right there. Stock Rocket Launcher S. That's no contest too. Mobility increase. Damage is really good. Clip size is good. It's just like by far one of the best weapons of the game. I'm gonna move these around a little bit. Is it crossbow? No, the crossbow's not as good as the flamethrower. Sandman. Kinda sucks now too. Definitely a D tier. It's better than the Pain Train though. I'll say that. Sandwich, S tier. For sure. So many uses. Being able to fully heal yourself is heavy. When you bring back all 300 of your health, it's not even arguable. A tier, oh no. S? No, the Sapper's not S, no way. There's so many things that do the Sapper's job but better. Just like shooting a gun. I'll put it middle of B. It's better than the Conch, I'd say. Yeah, the Sandwich is mad broken, Max. There's no way it wouldn't be an S. Stock Scattergun? That's definitely an A tier. But now this is the game of where it lies in A tier. I think it's better than the Grenade Launcher. Gunslinger, yes. Calmingler. No, it's like in between these ones. I'd say it's better than the Iron Bomber and the Grenade Launcher. Scored Shot, probably the most annoying weapon in the entire game. I hate this thing so much. Like, oh yeah, you can shoot 5 feet away from me, you'll still get knocked back and burning. Oh, and then I'm gonna combo you in the stupid corner. Yeah. With that being said, I don't think it's as good as the Detonator. But it's also really freaking good. So, I'll put it right below. Right below. Come on. There. Scotsman Skullcutter. Highest damage Demoman melee. And gets random crits. has to be in B tier, or maybe even A. It's better than the Big Earner and the Extinguisher for sure. Maybe even the Fist of Steel. Yeah, yep. Scottish Resistance. A lot of people do some crazy stuff with this thing, but I don't really get the use of it. I would just use stock. We'll go. It's higher than the Liberty Launcher, higher than the Homewrecker, and the Bloodsucker. Let's do top of C. Second, Banana. Now this is where the argument comes up. Is it better than the Sandwich? I don't think so. But it's also really good. Like, if you don't have a medic, this thing can save you. I'll put it, like, right next to the Kritzkrieg. What is this thing again? Oh, the Shahana. C tier. This is just, like, another C tier weapon. It's kind of boring. Kind of basic. It's like an equalizer for the sniper, but bad. I'll do... Yeah. How about... Below the Whip? Yeah. Sharp Volcanic Fragment, trash. It's better than stock, though. I'll say that. But there's no use for it. You can just use your flamethrower if you want to set someone on fire. Short Circuit. Projectile Deleter Extraordinaire. Really good for defending your sentry, but you only have a limited amount of uses. 65 metal seems like a bit much. So, I will put it... It's gotta at least be in B, I know that. But, like... It's not better than a wrench. Any of the wrenches. But I think it's better than the guillotine. Maybe even the pocket pistol. Shortstop. I do very crazy things with this gun. Like, I've gone on many kill streaks with this thing. I mean, mid-range is the perfect range for this. If you're doing it at point blank, then you're probably going to die. The pushback isn't really that important. The shoving isn't important. I'd say it's like right in between the Force Nature and the pistol, because it's like a combination of the two. Shotgun. Very, very good. But it's not as good as the scattergun, even though they're basically the same weapon. It's better than the pistol, though. And it's probably better than the shortstop. I'll put it like right there. Stock shovel, trash. Sorry. That's just how it goes. Actually, no, that's an F. Because there's a lot of better options. Stock sniper, I'm going to put that right next to the upper hand because it's the same weapon. Oh, wow, this is a big list. I thought that was A. Soda popper. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people use this gun over the Force of Nature, but I don't like it that much. I like the Force of Nature a lot better than this thing. But with that being said, it's not that bad. It feels like a C. A high C, though. Like, better than the Persian Persuader. Solemn Vow. This is basically just better than stock. I'll put it in D. Being able to see enemy health doesn't really matter that much. Southern Hospitality. I used to use this thing all the time. It used to be my favorite wrench, but what was the downside to it? No random critical hits? It doesn't really matter that much. I'd say it's better than the Eureka effect, but not as good as the Jag, so it's gotta be somewhere in between here. Okay, Isaiah, you don't know anything. The Golden Frying Pan is not better than the Sandwich. There's no reasoning on why the Golden Frying Pan is better besides it's golden. Well, we're back to 4 people. Whoever just came, welcome to the stream. I'll say it's at least gotta be in B. Not as good as the Diamondback. Splendid Screen. Good damage. It's better. It's the best damage shield. Really good for getting melee crits, but I don't think it's as good as the Charge and Charge. I'll put it like below the gunboats. That seems reasonable. Spicicle. Really good for escaping pyros and just shooting them down with a revolver. I use this thing. This is my knife of choice. I don't think it's better than knife though. I'll put it right below knife. Sticky Jumper. Crazy mobility, but you don't really have any other uses for it besides that. I mean, jumping across the map is crazy. Like, on King of the Hill maps, you have a super big advantage, because you can just jump out of spawn and you're back to the front lines in like 20 seconds. It's gotta be like right next to the Rocket Jumper though. They're both basically the same weapon. Now here comes the decision, the Sticky Bomb Launcher. I was kind of thinking about this earlier on either it should be S or A. It's like essential for most demo men if you're trying to do really good. I'd say it's not as good as the meta gun, but it's definitely... Oh god, how is... Is it an S? I'd say right below the back burner. Seems reasonable. Well, no. It's better than the back burner. SMG. Very bad weapon. You're not really ever going to use this thing because you could just melee someone and it'll do more damage. So I will do... It's not as good as the Natasha. No, it's gotta be D. I don't even think it's as good as the Panic Attack. Well, maybe that's too far. I think right there. Saw on the stick. Pretty bad. It's definitely a D tier, but I don't know where. It's not as good as the Sandman, that's for sure. I might even put it below stock. Yeah, I'll put it like right here. Sydney Sleeper. This thing's wild. I used to use this thing all the time. I say that a lot for the weapons, but this one, headshots being mini crits is kind of a big downside, but Girardi's a really useful tool. I'll put it like... Ooh. Okay, this one's kind of difficult, actually. It's got to be higher than Girardi. I know that. Right below the shotgun. Alright. Stock syringe gun. It's got to be below the Bloodsucker. This thing just kind of sucks. Bottom of C tier. Thermal thruster. Insane mobility for pyro. If you combine it with like the Flug or the Backburner, you're a machine. I think it's better than the Rocket Jumper and the Sticky Jumper just because of what you can do with it. So I'll put it above the Fist of Steel. Gosh, I'm starting to have second thoughts about a lot of these, but I don't know where to put them. Dang. We're close to the end though, so. Third Degree. It's a direct upgrade from stock. But there's also better melee weapons, so wherever the first pyro melee is besides the volcano fragment in stock, I'll put it above that. So the Neon Annihilator is right here, so I'll put it like right in the middle. Because if you crit a pyro or like any class is being healed by a medic, the medic's just dead. But that's also basing its strong abilities on luck. I don't like doing that. Tide Turner, I think it's the worst shield just because you don't get crits at the end of the charge. I think it's worthy of C tier. it doesn't really have good resistances at all. And the mobility's okay, but if you get shot once, you're just done. I'll put it like low C tier. Tomislav, I love this thing so much. It's probably my second favorite minigun besides the stock. I think it's worthy of B. Sure, it shoots less, but it has a silent spin up, and it feels like it kind of shreds. I'll say mid B. I mean, yeah, okay. Travelman Shiv. I use this thing, personally, because I refuse to use the Bushwhacker. But it's like, it's okay. It's not that good for a melee weapon. I will put it right here. Well, no, I keep putting things in the middle. It's not as good as the Amputator. Oh, I didn't even see the Shahana shot. It's not there either. I'll say right here. What is Archero Max? I've never heard of that. Ubersaw, S. Bottom of S, but still S. This thing is unrivaled by almost any melee weapon in the game. It's so broken. 25% Uber for hitting someone once? That's insane. There's no way you can beat that. Olipol Caver, D. This thing used to be good, but it kind of got messed up by how they changed the effect of it. I don't think it's even as good as the paint. Well, maybe one above the paint train. Vaccinator? Talk about a weird gun. This one's B tier, but not really quite sure where. I'd say it's better than the Rescue Ranger. Maybe if... Well... It's not better than the pistol. Well, is it? Oh, it's a mobile game that I probably haven't played it. I'm not really big on mobile games. Vitasaw? If anything can rival against the Ubersaw, I would say it was this. So, I don't think it's better than the Kunai, but it's better than the Bloodsucker for sure. Oh, that's that game Spencer was talking about. I don't even know, like, what it is, but I guess I'll take a look at it. I don't really play mobile games that much. Warrior Spirit really sucks now that you have the vulnerability, even though you get 50 health every time you hit someone. This one's a definite D tier for a melee weapon. It's like on the same par as the Gloves of Running originally. And oh boy, look who we have next. Widowmaker? Now, I might get hate for this, but this is definitely an S tier. Infinite ammo if you can shoot people. It's a shotgun. Crits are ridiculous. You can get metal for aiming at people. You never have to reload. It's just unbelievable. Like, if you're playing Engineer and you're like Battle Engie, you have to use this gun. Winger. Mobility is great. Scout has a lot of really good mobility weapons. I use this more than the pistol because the pistol's job as Scout is kind of just to finish enemies off. And this thing, even though it has a smaller clip size, the damage and just enemies being low doesn't really affect that. I'll put it like right below the pistol. Anyway, because like working with the pistol as Engineer also makes it, well, yeah, the pistol can be used by the Engineer, which is why I'm putting it over the Winger. Wrangler, definite A tier. This thing's essential if you're using the stock wrench. I think it's better than the Gunslinger, but not as good as the minigun. That's a good way to compare it. Crap Assassin, C tier. Well, no, not even. It's just another bleed weapon, and provided that you even hit the thing. You're not going to use this at all unless you use the ornament. It's worse than the Hamshank and the Frying Pan. I'd say it's like right here. Wrench. It's going to be below the Jag. We know that. But I don't think it can be B tier. Yes, Isaiah, I do work Friday, 5 to 9. It's better than the revolver. Wait, is it? Oh no, it's not better than the revolver. You know, stock wrench is kind of lacking, actually. I'll put it below the fist of steel. Jeez, there's a lot of things in B tier. Your eternal reward. Kinda sucks now. This is our last weapon, too, wow. I mean, it's okay. If you know how to use it, you're going to be a maniac. I'll put it like high C. It's not as good as the kunai, though. Hey, where's the Necro Smasher? Oh, I guess he didn't put any of the reskins in besides like the machete and stuff because they're all glass. Alright, well, thanks Uncle Dane for making this tier list template. I'll scroll through it again just so you can see everything. This is S tier. I think I'm content with most of the stuff in here. The rest kind of iffy. I might have some revisions that I might make in another video. But A tier. There's B tier. C tier. D tier. I think I'm gonna mix around with B and C tier because this doesn't seem like some of these weapons don't feel like they belong. E tier and F tier. I'd like to see what your opinions are in the comments if you're watching this after I streamed it. And just thanks everyone that watched, and most of you stuck here the whole time, so it's kind of surprising. It's the first time I've had someone do that. But I hope you enjoyed. I know it's kind of a boring video because I'm just sorting weapons, but I feel like it's necessary for me to have. Alright, well, I'll see you guys next time.